General Hospital will reveal exciting news on Wednesday, May 21, 2025. First, Carly had always been a force to be reckoned with. But the looming custody battle for Wiley and Amelia brought out a fiercer, more unrelenting side of her, especially when she realized how deeply Willow was aligning herself with Drew. What began as subtle signs, quick glances, vague responses, and an increasing distance, soon evolved into overt decisions that rattled Carly to her core. Willow, the woman she once saw as an ally, now seemed fully committed to handing over the responsibility of raising both children to Drew, a man Carly had come to resent with every fiber of her being. The thought of her grandchildren living under his roof, learning his values, being molded by his misguided sense of righteousness, it was enough to make her sick. Her frustration turned into full-blown outrage, and she confronted Willow, hoping to shake some sense into her. But Willow stood her ground, cold and unmoved, delivering her points with the precision of someone who had already closed her heart to Carly's opinions. The confrontation wasn't meant to be overheard, but Jocelyn caught every word. She had walked into the hallway outside the living room just in time to hear her mother's voice rise, filled with venom, frustration, and desperation. Carly's anger wasn't just loud, it was personal, revealing the depth of betrayal she felt. Jocelyn stood still, frozen for a moment, taking in the rawness of her mother's emotions. But as the words settled, something inside Jocelyn shifted. It wasn't the first time she'd seen Carly go to war for her family, but this time, it wasn't just Carly's battle. It was a war that threatened the entire family's future. And Jocelyn knew it required more than fury, it needed strategy. She stepped into the room, her expression calm yet deliberate, and offered a new perspective. One that neither Carly nor Willow had yet considered. Jocelyn's transformation in that moment was remarkable. No longer just the concerned daughter or bystander to the chaos. She became a mirror of Carly herself, cool, collected, and calculating. She didn't scold Carly for her outburst. Instead, she acknowledged the pain and the fear behind it. But pointed out the one undeniable truth: emotion alone wouldn't win this war. Willow had made up her mind, and Drew was playing the long game. If Carly wanted to protect Wiley and Amelia, she had to stop reacting and start planning. Jocelyn's voice was steady, her words sharp but measured. There was no room for impulsive moves or public meltdowns. Every step from now on needed to be precise, every word chosen with intent, every action aimed at dismantling Drew's credibility without letting him know he was being watched. Carly was taken aback. For a moment, she didn't recognize the young woman standing in front of her. There was a certain ruthlessness in Jocelyn's eyes, but it wasn't born out of cruelty, it was clarity. In that moment, Carly saw a version of herself she hadn't expected to find in her daughter, and a part of her was both proud and unsettled. Jocelyn wasn't asking for peace. She was suggesting quiet warfare. The kind fought in silence, behind closed doors, with evidence and timing. She spoke of exposing Drew not through accusations but through truth, carefully revealed at the right moment. Carly realized that if she was going to fight for her grandchildren, she didn't need to do it alone. Jocelyn wasn't just stepping up, she was stepping in. Meanwhile, Willow remained unaware of the storm gathering behind her. She continued to believe that she was making the right choice, prioritizing stability over sentiment, safety over history. In her mind, Drew represented the calm she craved, the order she thought the children needed. She failed to see the cracks in his facade, the quiet manipulations, and the long-term damage his influence could cause. What she saw as wisdom, Carly and now Jocelyn saw as blindness. And as Willow dug deeper into her alliance with Drew, she unknowingly gave Carly and Jocelyn more reason to sharpen their plans. It was no longer just a custody case, it was a fight for the soul of their family. The balance of power was shifting in silence. Carly had always been formidable on her own, but with Jocelyn stepping into the fray, a new dynamic was born, one rooted in legacy, resilience, and ruthless love. This was not about revenge. It was about preservation. The preservation of Wiley's innocence, Amelia's future, and a family's right to raise its children free from deceit. Drew had underestimated Carly before, but he had no idea what he had awakened by drawing Jocelyn into the fight. And while the courtroom drama was still weeks away, the battle had already begun, in hushed voices, late-night planning sessions, and a growing fire in the eyes of two women who would stop at nothing to protect what was theirs. Second, Lulu had spent days quietly observing, analyzing every detail, leaving no gesture or expression from Lois unnoticed. Her suspicion was no longer a fleeting feeling, it had evolved into a deep-rooted obsession. Every move Lois made, every word she uttered, every fleeting glance she gave was carefully studied and interpreted by Lulu as if they were puzzle pieces leading to a much larger truth. Deep down, Lulu couldn't ignore the powerful instinct that Gio was more than just a teenager who happened to show up at the right time and place. There were too many coincidences linking him to the tangled past of Brooklyn and Dante. And what haunted Lulu the most was the story Lois once told, the story of a child given away to be raised by someone else. That story had never sat well with her. Something about it felt wrong. And with each passing day, Lulu became more certain that Gio was that child. But to confirm the truth, Lulu knew she couldn't go directly to Dante or Brooklyn. They trusted Lois too much, or worse. Maybe they didn't even know the truth themselves. The only viable path to the answers she sought was through Lois. The woman she believed held secrets that could shatter and reshape the lives of everyone involved. Yet, Lois wasn't someone easily confronted. In recent days, her behavior had shifted dramatically. No longer the open and vibrant woman she once appeared to be, Lois had become guarded and visibly uneasy around Lulu. Her eyes would dart away, her words often came out hesitant. As if she were trying to hide something that weighed heavily on her conscience. Lulu didn't rush in with accusations. She chose a more methodical approach. Engaging Lois in seemingly harmless conversations filled with carefully crafted subtext. She designed situations that would subtly force Lois to react emotionally or betray herself with the slightest of tells. On one occasion, Lulu pretended to overhear someone at the hospital gossiping about Lois's past in New York, just to catch the flicker of emotion on Lois's face. And in that brief moment, a sudden furrow of the brow, a sharp intake of breath, Lulu found the confirmation she needed. Her instincts had not betrayed her, she was following the right trail. Meanwhile, Lois lived with the overwhelming feeling that a shadow was constantly trailing her. She sensed Lulu's eyes on her at all times, at home, in the hospital, during family events. The growing paranoia gnawed at her. She tried to maintain a facade of normalcy, but the more she forced composure, the more rigid and defensive her behavior became. She avoided private conversations with Lulu, declined every invitation under the pretense of fatigue or a packed schedule. Yet her retreat only fueled Lulu's suspicions. The more Lois evaded her, the clearer it became that she was hiding something monumental, and Gio was at the heart of it. Inside Lulu's mind, a plan was steadily taking shape. If Lois refused to speak the truth, Lulu would find a way to uncover it through documents, records, or any form of hard evidence that could expose what had been buried. She had cracked tougher cases before, and this time, though the stakes were personal and the cost potentially devastating, she wasn't backing down. If Gio truly was the son of Brooklyn and Dante, then he deserved to know who he really was. And Brooklyn deserved to know that the child she once believed lost was, in fact, alive, present in her life every day, hidden behind a carefully constructed lie. And if Lois was the one who stole that truth from her daughter, then Lulu would be the one to tear down the curtain, no matter the consequences. Even if it meant the entire family would never be the same again. Third, Lulu wasn't just quietly observing Lois, she had also begun expanding her investigation with the help of Cody. Someone whose connections and skills she believed could provide the breakthrough she desperately needed. The two had agreed to operate discreetly. sharing information cautiously and committing not to act rashly until they had solid evidence in hand. Cody, with his practical mindset and ability to slip into spaces others overlooked, quickly became a vital part of uncovering the truth about Joe's real identity. Their conversations took place in hushed tones, often in secluded areas where no one could hear, as they compared notes, analyzed Lois's behavior, and searched for any signs of manipulation or secrets buried in the past. They soon realized that if there was one moment when the truth might be exposed, it would be at the nurses' ball, an event where every key figure in town would be gathered and long-simmering tensions could erupt with just the right push. Lulu began drafting possible scenarios, each one crafted to provoke a reaction from Lois in front of others or to catch someone off guard enough to let the truth slip. Cody approached the investigation from another angle, trying to gain access backstage, sifting through old documents, overlooked medical records, and even forgotten corners of Lois's home that might still hold remnants of a carefully buried secret from years ago. As both of them pushed forward with full force, a separate drama began unfolding at the very heart of the nurses' ball. Lucy, the passionate and meticulous organizer of the event, suddenly found herself in the middle of a personal crisis that sent shockwaves through the celebration. Nobody knew exactly what had happened, but rumors quickly spread that it involved a wardrobe malfunction, more specifically, something related to her lingerie, that left her flustered and visibly shaken during a live broadcast. Whether it was a simple technical mishap or a calculated sabotage remained unclear, but the chaos left Lucy scrambling and distracted, struggling to regain control over the production. Ironically, this disruption created the perfect cover for Lulu and Cody to move unnoticed. While Lucy wrestled with her meltdown, Anna watched from a distance with steely focus. She had a plan of her own, one meticulously designed as a contingency, because she knew major events like this often served as perfect opportunities for truth to emerge, or to be buried deeper forever. Anna didn't directly intervene in Lulu's mission, but her instincts told her that whatever Lulu was chasing could be tied to other hidden agendas quietly playing out across Port Charles. So, Anna began positioning her own pieces on the board, ready to act the moment things spun out of control. The atmosphere inside the ballroom began to shift, no longer just a stage for glittering performances, but now a potential battlefield where long-buried secrets might finally come to light. Lulu never took her eyes off Lois, watching her every move with laser focus, while Cody maneuvered through backstage corridors with a hidden earpiece and a carefully disguised recording device. They both knew that if the truth was ever going to come out, tonight was the moment. This was the tipping point, the night when lies would finally run out of places to hide. Finally, yes. The plan Anna had been quietly crafting in the shadows is finally ready to unfold, and the stage is none other than the glitzy, chaotic spectacle of the nurses' ball. While the audience expects a night of glamour and talent, few realize that behind the scenes, a silent war is being waged, one that could change the power dynamics of Port Charles forever. Today is the day Anna puts her strategy into action, a plan meticulously designed, with layers of deception, surveillance, and a final blow meant to strike at the heart of corruption. Lucy, meanwhile, is facing a crisis of her own. With the entire event under her management, the last thing she expected was a catastrophe so public, so unpredictable. Whether it's another wardrobe malfunction, a technical sabotage, or a misstep from one of the performers, Lucy is struggling to keep the ball from unraveling, unaware that the true explosion of the evening won't come from a fashion slip but from Anna's covert operation unfolding in the background. As Lucy scrambles for damage control, she becomes an accidental shield for the real action taking place under everyone's nose. At the center of Anna's mission is Sidwell, a man whose public persona exudes charm and influence, but whose secrets are darker than most in Port Charles suspect. For weeks, Anna has been watching him, digging through records, tracing financial transactions, and decrypting encrypted communications that reveal a tangled web of deceit. She knows now what others don't: Jens isn't just a well-connected businessman. He's involved in something much deeper and far more dangerous, and tonight, Anna intends to expose him. The question is, will her trap be enough? Every detail has been planned. Hidden cameras planted days earlier, an anonymous informant on standby, and a timed digital leak prepared to strike at the precise moment Jens lowers his guard. Anna's plan isn't just about confronting him, it's about dismantling the false image he's built, piece by piece, and leaving him no room to escape. But with the chaos of the nurse's ball spinning out of control, timing is everything. One wrong step, one distraction, and the operation could fall apart before it even begins. As Anna positions herself at a distance, eyes locked on Jens from across the ballroom, she calculates his every movement, anticipating the moment he slips, because he always slips. And when he does, she'll be ready. But Jens isn't a fool. He knows someone's been watching, and he's taken precautions. The room is filled with players, both innocent and complicit. And it's unclear who's truly loyal to whom. What Anna doesn't yet know is that Sidwell has his own countermeasures, and tonight, he might just turn the tables if he senses even the slightest crack in her facade. With the lights shining, the performances in motion, and Lucy trying to salvage the show, all eyes remain distracted from the real performance, Anna's. Whether her plan will lead to Sidwell's downfall or whether he slips away once again is uncertain. But one thing is clear. This night will not end quietly. And for Anna, it's not just about justice, it's about restoring control in a town slowly losing its grip on truth.